Good afternoon, QSL. I am Brookazoid, joined with Rim Cleaner and Buckwheat on the sticks. And today we are watching the Abyss Division Foreman versus Revenant. How you doing, Rim Cleaner, today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. This is my first time on here, so we'll see how it goes. But this should be an exciting match between these two. Going in, Wailing Banshees are up 2-0 in their division, whereas the Foremen are down 0-2. So, although it's kind of like a David versus Goliath situation, I still am excited to see what happens today.
And excited we all are today. Unfortunately, this is in this recast here. It looks like the game IDs were not the proper P's and B's. So right now we're having a quick of a reimagined picks and bans. At least first things first, the one thing to highlight here, the classic Chernobog ban, a god that in every division is just so annoying to deal with.
Having that global presence, just being able to rotate anywhere around the map whenever you want, being able to make any fight a X+1 versus X is always going to be insane, as we see that going into the second pick too with this Athena being banned out for the Foreman.
And like I said, global pressure is the game right now. Athena and Chernobog are just can fit any team comp, and you're not gonna struggle in anything really. I'm more excited to see what gets left open here, because there's so many good picks at the moment, and not even just classic picks, but just whatever picks there are that the top meta. So we have the Raijin, we have the Pele, heck, even Ratatosker is showing face. If you have Pocket Ratatosker, is very dangerous. We see here that the camera is having fun with us and is banning out here the Hercules for the Revenants. As well as we see here Pele being banned for the Foreman. Pele, even though she got some nerfs in the recent patches, she's still a dominant jungler or a millionaire.
Yeah, she's really, really strong. Having the flexibility to be able to toss her into at least 3 roles, if not more, plus having the fact of over the, I believe it was the, what was it, 10 patch, when she got that fourth ult auto on her after her ult's initial cast, it's kind of crazy. And not so surprisingly, again, Raijin looking to be banned here for the Revenants.
Raijin is so annoying. I remember it was so funny watching the SPL, a Final K just activating the invis bug, and no one, like even the players on the cameras, could be visibly confused. So Raijin is annoying with or without a bug. As you see, last ban, a Baba Yaga with the Wailing Banshees here, locking in the Sun Wukong.
Yeah, I don't see this pick as very surprising. Sun Wukong is definitely first pick, first ban worthy right now. Very, very strong soul laner. Easily top 3. And a Ratatosker too. Really, really high up in your jungle prioritization. If you can't have globals, you can have semi-globals. So having those quick rotations, the insta-burst, having quite a bit of CC coming out of that jungle pick too with the stun and the slow off of the 1. It's just a good over-around pick.
And yeah, Ratatosker is, if you have a pocket Ratatosker, or just in general, you're still deciding what to pick up in your other roles. Ratatosker is so powerful at the moment. As you mentioned, the global pressure, just the raw damage. Once he upgraded his Acorn to the tier 3, he I think is the best early game character at that point. As you see here, the Achilles here to counteract the Wukong self-sustain and self-banishment. I hate always facing an Achilles in solo lane, especially when I log in the Wukong. Speaking of logging in, the Kayron for support for the Wailing Banshees.
Yeah, I do like the Charon pick, especially into the Ratatosker. I mean, knowing that you're going to have a lot of backline dive between this Achilles and Rat, it's good to have a decent amount of peel. And Charon with that fear on the ult, the silence, the root off of the 3, he just has a lot of CC to try and counteract what this backline dive is going to bring. And then we see the Hunters get locked in too. The Hachiman and the Anher. This is an interesting matchup for me, prioritizing the Hachi, especially over the Anher, and other picks that are still open too. I mean, you have Rom open, you have X-Ball open. Why do you think this Hachi get locked in?
I am a Hachi enjoyer, really. Hachiman is one of the easiest gods, and you can be very aggressive with him if you're allowed to have a decent early game. However, playing from behind Hachiman could be annoying, especially versus an aggressive Anher right now. Supports are still open for the Foreman, and there's a lot of options available that they can pick up here. There's the Ganesha, there's the Ares. a lot of options that the foreman here, and especially in this Abyss division, they all have their great comfort picks as well as the stronger picks. So it doesn't really matter what support they pick out. It has to contest with the immense pressure that this carry on Hachiman is gonna offer. We see quick mid lane bans, the Agni and the Discordia. What are your thoughts about those mid bans?
It's not surprising here that mid is being prioritized considering the mild amount of flex between these drafts. I mean, Rat in this situation definitely looks like jungle. It could still be a solo Rat. I mean, I've seen jungle Achilles, especially at this level. You know, the Abyss guys love to have a little bit of fun every now and then. So, yeah, seeing these mid bans, these are all very strong picks too. I mean, Agni, Disco, Set. They have the ability to just pick up and run games pretty much regardless of the comp that's built around them.
And speaking of the comp around them, the Set and the Morgan Le Fay. Set, normally known as an assassin, used to be a solo lane match or a jungler, but has been seeing a lot of play in the mid lane. I think the benches are probably scared of this pick and decided to just immediately ban out. Maybe the Foreman's mid laner has a pocket set that he could run the game with. And with Morgan Le Fay is great clear, great pressure. You never go wrong picking Morgan Le Fay. As we see the Cleona locked in for the Foreman, I think this is the mid pick.
Too. I think assassin mids right now are very strong, having the ability to kind of not necessarily free farm, but just have the ability to hit that late game stride that a lot of them really, really like. I mean, Kleena being one of those late game assassins, Set being one of those late game assassins. Just being able to get this farm, not necessarily for free, but a lot safer than in jungle. I do like it. Now, the Vomit Hebo, I love this Hebo pick. I hate this Vomit pick, but these guys are a lot better than me, so I do trust them. What are your thoughts here on why the Vomit out of any pick here? That looks like a Vomit jungle too.
I also agree with the Batman jungle. I think it's just the playstyle, run it down, grab a mana, ult out when you have to just walk at this Poseidon or possibly this Cleona. I was mistaken. This probably could be Poseidon mid, but I think Poseidon will do a lot better if he's given a chance to play in the jungle. Catching this Hevo catching it off guard by surprise could be a big thing. Cleo is a strong character, can easily dive any of these characters if they want to. But but at the Vermont, I'm still scratching my head. How is this character gonna bring value with his team comp in the William Banshees?
I think the Vamana has a pretty good matchup into some of these picks over on the Foreman. I think the Achilles, especially if you grab a Kins on this Vamana, is going to struggle a little bit. He has decent escape, but as long as you're able to keep up with him, hitting those autos with that hasten, it's going to do pretty well. I mean, it's going to force out the on her leap. Poseidon is going to have a really bad matchup too, as long as you build some movement speed on this Vamana, so you can just run him down. I mean, you can walk through on her pillar. It feels like a really, really good matchup here. But at the same time, though, it just feels weird to prioritize this over other junglers. I mean, looking at what's open right now, we have like a Daji could have been nice here. Thor. It's just a lot of prioritized picks that this was picked over that I don't necessarily agree with. But I'm very curious to see how this is able to run this game.
I completely agree with you in that aspect. A lot was open that was available for the William Banshees to pick up. This Poseidon, however, in the last option is gonna be the most interesting one. I have not seen a Poseidon, even in my ranked games. I have not seen a Poseidon in a while. He is a very objective, secure god, as well as the raw damage output that he offers into the mid to late game. But I'm just worried about Poseidon getting run down by this Wukong and Hebo.
My question is, who's going to be the support for the Foreman? I mean, is this going to be an Achilles support? Maybe. Maybe
Could
like
be
a
the Achilles support.
Cleo
Maybe even
solo rat jungle.
Ratatosker support could be an option as well. I just realized that the Foreman has a very unique draft right now. We've been focused on the Banshee so much that we don't know much about the Foreman here, and that is crazy.
Yeah,
But
there's a lot of flex in between classes going on in these drafts, and I'm curious to see where everything ends up and just how this game will play out.
and very interesting it will be here. So, uh, One thing I also want to ask you about here, knowing as a veteran comp league yourself here, knowing that your team right now is 0-2 versus the 2-0 Wailing Banshees, are you gonna be nervous coming into this game, or are you just gonna treat it like any regular game of the season?
I think they did something really good here, and I think if you're playing a better team than you, or a team that's playing better than you, and you play normal Smite, you are playing their game. So I like shaking it up a bit, grabbing some of these weird picks, just testing the waters and seeing how things are gonna work.
And speaking of weird, we are jumping into the game right now, and we have first look at all the picks at the moment. And Rim Cleaner, help me break this down. What is going on in our screen?
I I could not tell you what is going on right now. The Poseidon ends up going over to solo lane, Cleo in mid. I don't mind this switch as much. Um, I like the Poseidon having the ability to farm a little bit more freely. Hit that level 5 a little bit easier, a little bit less contested. The Cleo, oh my god, what's going on the other side? This is crazy. I don't know what I'm looking at right now.
No, I'm flabbergasted as well here. The Red Tusker build going the tank route as well. So it's gonna be a tanky Red Tusker jumping into the back line. Solo lane Poseidon Gambit gonna have the freest farm at the moment right now. It's so much that he could do, as well as a Vamana with diamond with Gilded Arrow to get some nice extra gold and basic attack power. Surprised they did not win the death stall. As you see right here in dual side, Hachiman almost gets first blooded. Though just the raw pressure this Achilles had on her is gonna be so dangerous for Drew and Soul Reaper.
Yeah.
Once they get level 5, it's gonna be quite dangerous even more.
Yeah, this is definitely a kill lane. These characters by themselves each have pretty good pressure. Putting them in the same lane, it's gonna be crazy over here. Yeah, with that Ratatosker too, I do expect him to be going a little bit more of like an initiator style of build, maybe grabbing like a Pridwin somewhere in the build, potentially a Rune Force Hammer. I don't know, binding, something like that, just to have a little bit of fun. But what I'm actually seeing right now is the Revenants being 2-0 in this league, the Foremen being 0-2, and them just having a little bit of fun.
It could really be it here. Over there in the solo side, Gambit is getting run down by Vamana at the moment and narrowly escapes with his life. That could be pretty dangerous. If Bean Soup is allowed, especially with this diamond arrow to just, or gilded arrow, to just run down, is there, as we see here in the dual side here, Achilles being locked down 4 members strong here in dual side. Honor and Achilles are forced back into this tower just for this shield buff. However, here in dual side, here at Tusker is onto Vamana here. Vamana gets eliminated here, and first blood goes for the Foreman.
Yeah, I mean, rotating over the mid and the jungle, usually it's just the jungle that goes over to help out with that shield buff, but rotating both of them over, they were definitely looking for a kill. And with both of them being gone from mid lane, it's hard to watch these Ratatosker rotations too. You just don't know when he's going to be coming over to that solo lane, and this Vamana already poking out this Poseidon, like he was kind of able to like bait him in a little bit. The Poseidon baited him in, Rat came in for the rotation, Vomit got first blooded. Simple as that.
That's always the worst feeling in the world, being first blood in Soul Lane. As you see here, Achilles trying to dodge the autos, but they can't. Unfortunately, Soul Reaper survives with 1 HP on her, trying to get the revenge kill, but unfortunately cannot get to it.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate that Charon was able to make it out with as little HP as he was, especially with how much work that Achilles was doing. The pressure in this lane has completely shifted with that 4-man rotation. Even though they didn't actually get a kill like they initially wanted to off of that rotation, just what came afterwards and having this on her and Achilles permaforce under their tower has gotta feel amazing for this Hachiman.
I agree with you. I agree with you right now. Hachiman having the ability to just, like I mentioned in the beginning of the cast, if it gets the pressure, it's gonna be an easy lane for him. Specify is already poked out. Does have the death soul to sustain all the HP back, but it's gonna be quite struggle. Now Gambit back with his first back has already the Pythags unlocked. that's just the benefit of getting first blood. This immediate power spike and being so Bob, unfortunately, if I was a physical soul and goes to the T2 breastplate. A gank here with Evo. Evo is level 6 on her, so has his leap here. Nice stun for Pio for the Achilles here, and unfortunately cannot confirm it. And Kaizo gets the kill onto Ryu. Right, into the air while thinking a target lands on the Hachi. Hachiman has to beat here. Hachiman can win his 1v1, unfortunately does not have DVs. A perfect shell here, a nice stun on the Achilles here, and Kaizo does get the kill onto Drew here, and his Achilles is on fire right now.
Yeah, there were so many low health bars in that fight. I think it was just a problem with target prioritization between this Charon and the Hachi. If they focused on each one of those just one at a time instead of having this damage so spread out, this is just completely free. And the Achilles getting another kill too with this execute.
A triple kill, a delayed triple kill for Kaiser right now. That is scary at this moment. Not only a support getting 3 kills, it's a warrior support. So this guy is a solo laner running down the map, and it's gonna be so dangerous.
Yeah, this is exactly what I talked about too. Being able to play this like weird comp and not playing the game that the Revenants want you to play. I mean, you pull out this Achilles support, you're already 3-1 on it. It's got to be feeling good right now.
I'm not only feeling good here. I think the Foremen are feeling great right now. As I say, it's going into the basically a higher seed team at the moment. And speaking in the moment, right, Tusker jumping onto this Charon, but Charon, the most easiest god to survive and escape with. So not much of a big issue there.
Yeah, he just walks out completely for free.
Good thing here for the Banshees. They can easily just know that their target is these Achilles to get a nice shutdown goal. Speaking of shutdown, Poseidon forced to beats in his own blue buff. Kibo is around here, does have crashing waves. This could be a good fight for the Banshees. 3-man rotation here. Cleo into this. Vamana ults to this Poseidon. However, they cannot chase him down. Wukong into the air, dealing so much damage to this Poseidon. Poseidon still does have ult. Is still holding it for the right time. Tusker into the air. Great knockoff. Crushing wave into the Kraken. And then Cleo and gets a double there with Tusker getting the nice kill onto Cow. And that's just a reverse. Just going crazy for the Foreman at this moment.
They just could not keep up with that Poseidon. The amount of speed that Poseidon gets off of this 2 matched with the slow on the 3. Yeah, I mean, Poseidon beats a lot of the slows in the initial fight over at the Revenant's blue buff, and after that he just kind of sprinted away. He didn't output that much damage either. A lot of that cleanup came from just the grouping. The inability to kill this Poseidon just led to them grouping up and getting absolutely decimated by this Cleo Rat ult combo. Yeah, crazy setup and just crazy damage coming out.
Buckwheat, can you hover into this Poseidon and see the level up ability? I think he's probably maxing that to run away completely here. He actually is not. So just the inherent 10% movement speed was just enough to get him in and out. One thing that I will give to Gambit is the raw patience that he had on holding that Kraken. He could have shotgunned that Kraken immediately after the Bamana and the Wukong went into the air, but he decided to hold it as long as he could, waiting for Ratatosker for an amazing two-man dunk to immediately cracking and not only hit Bamana and the Wukong, but the incoming crushing waves from the Hebo, and then all the nice path for Cleo to just tear the bale and decimate them. The Foremen are on fire at this moment. Almost a 3k goal lead. No contestation, a lead almost in every single point in the map at this moment. If I'm the winning Banshees, I gotta be careful, because if your mid game to late game transition is bad, the Foreman can just take this home.
Yeah. Looking at the builds really quick, we see a little bit of where the lead is actually distributed, and we got a T2 up on this Poseidon over the Vamana. I mean, a little bit up on this Rat. Also, speaking of the Rat build, going this defense Acorn, especially this early, I mean, he's getting like 3 protections from this item. There's not a lot going on with this right now, so I don't know what the build is.
I think the value for Ratatosker is gonna be the late game, and with the lead that the team is having, I think he's gonna reach it. Ratatosker will probably go for a breastplate and maybe a rune forge, playing with that hybrid style to be oppressive. and just tank all the damage that the William Banshees are probably trying to set up here. Over in the solo side, I see Wukong getting collapsed on a bit over there. Still has ultimate Ratatosker in his tails here. He is forced to ult out to try and survive. Cleo is in the wall. Wukong does not know that. No, there's no opinion as he walks into the scream and just gets decimated there. Cow Killer down for his second death, and Helenu is just going crazy.
Yeah, I think Buck has a pretty important statistic up right now on this screen. The fact that this Vomit and Charon each have 0 wards placed after their like lanes have been, for lack of better words, camped in this early game is kind of crazy. Yeah, and we see the blue buff invade coming up, Poseidon successfully stealing it with the Kraken. Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to try and have this pressure. Just where are you planning on allocating your pressure as the Banshees? Like what lane are you trying to pick up right now?
As speaking of lane, trying to go for that solo side here, and unfortunately, Specify has to use all of his relics and still dies to this Hachiman Charon combo. You might be ahead, buddy, but being alone is just a dangerous recipe. Achilles trying to do a lot of damage right now. Just with the excessive lead that he's going for the Thieves Cloak build at the moment, and is almost fully almost fully stacked here. Crushing waves get Burger Boy, and Rio gets the first kill on the board now. So much damage with Crushing Wave. Doesn't matter if you're a tank rat, you're still gonna get melted. Right now, Cleo into the wall, into shield buff. There is no escape for both of these players, so this could be dangerous for this Hebo here. No hits onto them to try to slow him down or catch up to him. Right now it's probably neutral as Wukong is rotated from mid here. From mid, Cleo is in trouble. Is getting knocked down, forced to dash away right now. A 3v3 at the moment. Jungler is still missing. He just spawned from base. He does have the Tree of Yggdrasil, so he can easily rotate to this fight if he wants to. Charon, Wukong ultimate are being there. Achilles being shut down by his Wukong rat lands into the backline. Here, allowing to get a kill on the Rio. Drew kills Specify again. Cleo trying to do the best they can, but he unfortunately falls as well. Ratatosker in between 4 people, and a triple kill for Drew's food. That is so unfortunate for the Foremen, and the Wailing Banshees are back in this game.
Yeah, that was a huge 4-man turnaround for the Wailing Banshees in this game. I mean, they picked a lane that they actually wanted to play through. They answered my question for you, and they decided to play through duo side. They took an uneven fight, killed Specify, and then turned that into another 3 on top of that with people just chasing kills. I mean, the Foremen just wanted to have something. They just wanted to grab something to make up for that loss of the Anhur early in that fight. But just feeding into this meat grinder that is the Wailing Banshees team comp right now, just got nothing out of it.
And speaking of nothing out of it, Poseidon's Kraken is gone. Vamana with his haste and katana trying to do the most damage as he can, but it is not enough. Beacon has spawned. Both supports are hiding in this beacon. Cleo trying to defend as best as they can, but I think the Contagion will probably do more damage. Hachiman forced a massive archery to run away at the moment. Here, Ratatosker and Cleo on this Charon and gets the kill. Rat unfortunately falls to tower, and Charon gets a kill onto the board as well. Mid beacon is gonna go here to the Wailing Banshees. Wukong and Hebo are set up to it. Unfortunately, no one else to support is Cleo. Cleo was basically 3v1ing at the moment. Achilles trying to show face and pressure at the moment. Specify is also rotating behind him. Crushing Waves is still up, so if I'm Honor, I'm playing pretty safe. Playing in front of his Wukong to trying to do the attack speed. Honor being knocked up twice at the moment. He summons sticks, hits the Achilles, and he dies for it. Helenu falls as well against his Wukong. And Honor can just watch as his team just dies.
This beacon is not worth making or breaking this game. At some point, you have to sit there at the Foreman and realize that this needs to be given up. You rotate over Specify, you rotate over the Cleo mid, the Achilles support, and the Revenants just do it better. they just have this pressure sooner and are just poking you out so much, and you just can't fight it. And it looks like this is going to be continued as the rat goes up in the air. He doesn't look like he wants to trade his life again for this Charon. Probably a good idea. And the Romana's wrapping around.
And speaking of wrapping around, Romana into the ult, trying to get the kill onto the Gambit. He does successfully get it. Execute goes in. The work time Aegis to protect himself. I didn't know you could Aegis in baby form on her. Rotation gets the kill onto Rio there, but no shutdown right at the moment. Honor is the next target here. He does have ultimate. Goes going into the air. Honor cannot confirm the pick before he jumps in. Hachiman has rotated at the moment here, and it's dangerous. Ratatoskr is on Hachiman, trying to do his best to do what he could. Wukong, no HP, dashing into the backline, and Kaizo gets the pick onto it. Kairon in the back, trying to support. Ratatoskr blinks to the Hachiman. Hachiman has forced the beats at the moment. Kaizo is doing the best he can to try to do damage, but it's impossible. Helenu trying to get this Hachiman shut down for 1-1 at this moment. This is big for the Foremen, but they might be overstanding.
Yeah, I don't see much going for this Charon right now. I don't see a reason to chase this right now. In that fight, Cow Killer was playing this Wukong absolutely perfectly, but he was doing it alone. And playing up that far without anybody being able to support you just does not feel good, especially when you just get picked and then the Foremen are able to translate that fight into pretty big lead now. Actually, not a pretty big lead, but a pretty big jump back, being only 2k down now. Yeah, we can see that dip there from probably about the 2.7 to 3k mark all the way down to 2k. Just grasping back something in this game that they desperately needed.
One thing that I want to highlight is the tankiness this Charon has. He's just taking no damage. And speaking of damage, the baby is in the air. He's in Katana, just activated in mid lane. We see a 2v2 going around, but Poseidon looks like it's still a target. Ratatoskr is on a level at this moment, 2 levels down from his counterpart. Achilles getting stunned out and made his Rune Forge doing so much damage. Execute range, all the characters at the moment, crushing waves. Helenu with the fade away, Bugger Boy into the air. Kraken is used. Gambit falls to Cow Killer, and Rat is trying to do the best he can, but he's 2 levels down compared to his team right now. 3 levels down onto this Romana. Blinks in from the Wukong to the backline. Helenu crushes a triple kill, and Juice Food just solo specified over in dual side, and a delayed deicide for the Banshees.
I'm looking at what they get after this. That's what's going to matter the most. I mean, bringing this lead up to 4k, having the Oni Fury on the map, they are in just a very good spot after that. I mean, whatever lead that the Foremen initially did have, especially with that Fed Kaizo as the 3-in-1 Achilles that we had at minute 5 in this game, has been completely squashed. There is nothing right now going for this Foreman squad, and it is all Revenants all day.
Revenants at this moment taking the lead, going forward. The Primal Fury, sorry, the Oni Fury, I apologize, confirm the Oni Fury quite easily. Now Achilles trying to step up, trying to do something, but at this point that something is dying, has to ult away. Hachiman and Crushing Wave are available, and the Cleo going in. The Hebo does get the pick, but dies and trades for his life. Cleo has to Aegis, and Juice Food gets the fadeaway, killing the Cleo. Now a 2-for-0, 2-for-1 for the Foreman. However, on her trying to get something, trying to be more valuable at this point of the game. He is 3 levels down to his counterpart, while Juice Food is just 6-1-2. He did get picked in the beginning of the game, but at this point, he is just the biggest danger on the team at the moment.
In that fight, I would have rather have had the Foreman look for a trade for that Oni Fury, knowing that they're going to be over there, especially with it being the Oni Fury out of any of the Gold Fury variations. You probably should have just gone to Pyro instead. You gave them Oni Fury, you gave them 2 more picks, up to a 5k gold lead. However much the XP lead, and all of it is being felt too. Not one person in this game has hit level 20, although this Hachi's creeping up on it, 6-1-2, absolutely decimating this on her, 4 levels up in lane. I expect them to be translating this lead into an FG6.
And FG will probably be seeing Cleo being behind on levels is still doing a lot of damage towards this Wukong. Wukong is a warrior, but he's not tanky as he normally is. Achilles trying to defend his beacon with his life. Blink onto the Evo. Stun is missed from Ratatosker. And Evo can just reset for this next engagement. Cleo, half HP. Hachiman horses in. Gets a nice hit onto the Cleo, tries to go for the stun, and then Soul Reaper gets it with summon sticks. Achilles in between the two waves of Kairon and Hebo and gets washed away. Vamana is just farming at this point. Same thing with Poseidon. The lack of soul lane rotation at this moment is just destroying the Foremen at this point.
Yeah. This has to be my biggest pet peeve in Smite is dying over the beacon. It is not that worth it. They send over the rotation from the Foremen, 2 of them die, and they walk out with nothing. Where and knowing that it's an even fight too, you know that your solo laner's not going to be rotating. So it could have been even worse had the Vamana actually rotated as well. But you get absolutely nothing, you lose 2. I'm surprised that the Revenants don't go and pull this FG off after that. It doesn't look like they're actually pushing this lead that far other than just kills. I'd like to see some objectives being taken at this point.
And speaking of objectives, Vamana, his objective is killing Gambit easily with his Toxic Blade and his Katana gets it. The rest of the team is on this dual side tower. Achilles onto this Wukong, the stun, it does not land. Wukong can easily just ult out if they have to. Wukong into the air. Here the Foreman trying to accomplish anything that they can at this moment. Wukong lands in, stun on the Cleo. Cleo is forced to Aegis, beats onto all of them, crushing waves, gets to Helenu, and Helenu falls for transgressions. Kaizo gets the kill onto Killer, but Kaizo is still low. Hachiman trying to do his best. Burger Boy gets the nice shutdown. Summon Sticks is used. Hebo misses the knockup onto his armor. Honor just runs away. He is forced to beat as Ratatosker eliminates Ryu and gets a nice double kill. This Kairon is the next target, but he is so tanky at the moment. And speaking of being tanky, Vamana taking that T2 tower just all in so by tanking it the entire time. Vamana, this looks like a classic split push Vamana build, but I think it's gonna be a bit more. He's just trying to do the most damage that he can.
Yeah, in that fight, it looked like the Wukong was actually baiting perfectly there, kind of luring in the Foremen, allowing the rotations from his team to come, but they came one at a time. It's what the Foremen have been doing this entire game that the Revenants picked up on. It's just trickling into these team fights and allowing themselves to get picked one by one by one. As soon as that Wukong dies, then one more dies, and then the Hebo dies, and it's just one at a time. They're all just feeding into this 1v4 like mindset where they think that they can just walk into low health bars and just kill everybody. But unfortunately, CC does exist, and they got to keep that in mind. With this, though, we do see that the Vamana is able to bring back a little bit of that gold trade in that T2 tower, opening up that Phoenix for whenever they decide to actually push into it, and allowing them for an end call if needed, given that they have another D side. I mean, they have enough of a lead in this game for that to be an option at this point. 5k still. Actually shortening that up a little bit to 3k, but then we see what I've been wanting this entire time. This Revenants pulling this FG.
Is pulling the FG right now. Achilles is doing the best to defend his Fire Giant. The Banshees decide to just go around. Banshee confirm the fire. Poseidon is trying to get something. The Kraken misses here. Summoning 6. Landom and Vamana is just chunking in. Burger Boy falls onto Ryu over there. Poseidon has to use all his relics and he just falls for his transgressions. At this moment, Achilles is in the middle with no movement. Vamana can easily catch up to him after landing the slow. Achilles forces to ult away. Ryu is on the flank and gets Helenu right now. This could be a pretty quick end call right now. 40 seconds on every single player at the moment. Hebo flanking around, trying to get on her at the moment. Nice knockup into the watery hands, and then easily gets a triple kill there for Ryu. And right now, with no bombs, however, they can just still walk into this, and it's gonna be game.
Yeah, 20 seconds until the majority of the team is up, 10 on this rat, and it looks like they're just going to walk in and end it. This is absolutely the right call. Burger Boy is going to be up soon, if even up at all in this game, and they just walk away with that lead. Yeah, taking that fight was a little bit... I'm not going to say interesting, but you have to be able to just drop that FG. You get the gold, you get some sort of win, you let the FG fall, you play a little bit of defense, and you have a chance to come back in this game. But once again, feeding into the meat grinder one at a time, they step into that FG pit, and the Revenants are able to bounce between FG DPS and burning down whoever steps in. FG DPS and burning down whoever steps in. And it just falls to the Revenants anyways. No steal comes in and they just walk it down mid.
The I think that was just a bit miscommunication. Achilles was calling to his teammates that they were at the FG, but the rotation was so slow from the rest of the team that taking the gold for you was not valuable at all. We can I am Brugazoid, joined by Rim Cleaner here. This is game 2 of the Wailing Banshees versus the Foremen here. After that game 1, I'm so excited to see what's going to happen. Tell us, Rim Cleaner. Give us a quick breakdown of what happened.
I've learned from game 1 that we have no idea what's going on with the draft. We have no idea what to expect from the actual gameplay itself, and the Revenants are just different. That's what I've learned in the past hour.
The Revenants are indeed built different. And speaking of different, the Vamana ban, for those joining us now in game 2, Vamana was last picked for the Wailing Banshees for his Soul Lane pick. And that character just ran down. And we're here to hear from production that every other single ban has been passed. So both teams realize that the Banshees is gonna take this and is gonna win it. Foreman logging the push first pick as the Banshees take Giannis and Sylvanas.
I have no hope that these are going to be mid and support. Zero. I'm expecting a Giannis jungle, a Sylvanas solo, an Opwash support. Oh my god. Yeah, it's just getting worse.
That, like I said, this is just gonna go crazy. As you see, the Anubis, Posh, and Chuck locked in for the Foreman. At this moment right now, I believe that the Foreman have just given up on the team, or they just really want to have some fun in this division. So as you see here, Wailing Banshees hovering the Chernobog and locking it in, kind of being mean at this moment. Like there was like so many good picks. Oh, so it's not Chernobog. Okay, so I apologize. It is not Chernobog that's being locked in. I'll be honest, that would have been very cringe. As you see, the actually the Scotty being locked in over here.
You know, I'm be honest. I didn't mind that turnabout there.
I actually didn't mind because that's not fun. As you see here now, decide Freya being banned here. They do not want to see this Freya after possibly hovering this Chernobog. So let's see if the Foremen decide to pick up anything or they're just passing the bans here. They decide to pass up the bans. Loki for the Wailing Banshees.
This looks like a season 6 Invade cringe comp type of thing that I'm looking at right now. I don't know what is going on. I mean, we could at least guess where this Foreman's team is going to be going.
So here, the Zhang Kui being locked in for the team, and then possibly a Zeus hover at the moment. At this point, for me, that's an ADZ Zhang Kui, support Upwash, solo Anubis, jungle Shock, and this mid Zeus possibly being hovered and locked in. I'm curious. The Wailing Banshees do not have enough lockdown at this moment, so depending on what they pick up here, it could be dangerous. They're right now scrolling through all the gods like it's God Builder 101 here, knowing what's available and what's for them. Everything is basically banned at this point. Freya and Vamana are the only two gods that you're not allowed to play. So I'm interested to see what's gonna happen, Rim.
I mean, yeah, they pretty much banned out the entire meta out of those two picks. This is the stuff that you're going to be expecting to see in your GM games: triple mage, one warrior, and a Danzaburo. Yep, all day, every day.
Danzaburo. The little Tanuki comes into play.
They're just having fun at this point.
Oh, and I'm in this. I'm here to have fun as well. Here, the Wailing Banshees hovering the next pick around here. Chronos as their final pick. I'll be at least in retrospect, the Wailing Banshees have a actual team comp if they decide to roll up in the actual roles. Versus the Foreman, it's an all-out battle at this moment. The players already know where they're going. They probably know who's playing each role. There's some interesting role swapping. But at least in our end, you and I, we don't know where anything's going. So it's gonna be very interesting to see.
I have no clue where any of these picks are going. There are 10 picks on my screen, and I'm confident that this Chalk is solo and that this Sylvanas is support, and that is about it.
I think you're wrong. I think this Chalk is not solo lane. I think this is gonna be the job of this Anubis or this Zhang Kui. I think it's a Chalk mid. My man's gonna be running this Chalk mid, get that power farming like crazy versus this Loki mid. This is a Chronos jungle or a Giannis jungle.
You know, I did not have on my bingo card there being 3 mages in a game and none of them going mid lane, but I absolutely do trust you. I am concerned for what we're about to witness in the next, hopefully, 30 minutes of Smite.
And after watching game one, we saw some interesting picks. It was still meta or still basic characters, but we saw some interesting picks like the Bamana solo, Wukong mid, Poseidon solo as well. So anything can go into the end at this moment here as we wait for production to get us into the game here. I think we might be having technical difficulties. Just to pause. As we'll get back into game real quick here. If you're picking it, we know William Banshee's got game one, but in your opinion, who do you think would actually have a good advantage in this game?
I think going into this game, if it were to be played out seriously, I would still give the nod over to the Wailing Banshees. I think that their comp is I am definitely an advocate for this pick. It has some not horrible CC. You have decent movement. You know, it's kind of like picking the Honor support, but just a little bit worse. So there's definitely wow. They go for the invade and the not the Wailing Banshees. This is the Foremen actually do successfully steal over that green buff from the Revenants.
However, they do the green ball with Danzaburo. It's gonna fall here. In the shell being popped. However, nice stun from the Zhang Kui, but that is not enough. Specified, doing his best, but just the invade curse and a double kill for the Wailing Banshees. And it was a great green buff invade, but they just die for it. And now the reverse invade, them going for their purple buff. As you see in mid here, Chalk Jungle getting ran down here, but it's Loki survives with this outwash at the moment. And Danzaburo's already rotating, getting his green buff, as Sylvanas and Scotty do get their purple buff.
Yeah, that Scotty lived for way too long during that invade, just hiding behind the Sylvanas, not letting a single one of these autos hit her. Just played pretty well by the Revenant squad, and a little bit of a fumble from the Foremen. As we see them actually grabbing their own green buff, so they have double green buff control now. Unfortunately, the purple buff was stolen away, and we see that the Revenants actually do hit level 2 in this dual lane. I expect this to be absolutely horrible for the Foremen going into this next little bit of the laning phase, not being able to hit level 2 off of the initial buffs in first wave. Over in the other lanes, though, we do see this mage matchup in solo lane, and interestingly, we see the Anubis not actually having a starter item, but instead going with this T2 Bancrofts.
I think he's just gonna go for the Boombas play here, but Anubis, just like that T2 has so much power in his kit, he is clearing the wave like it's no one's business. The honest actually has a disadvantage in the solo side with less war. Danzaburo gets plucked into tower here. He is so low right now, trying to survive for dear life itself. Zhang Kui with an amazing stun to peel off the damage, but they gotta be careful. Any pull from Zabonis could be pretty dangerous at this moment. Ooh, and a max range pull onto Danzaburo there. Chuck trying to be annoying, trying to steal farm from this Loki as Danza is still falling. We see a pause here from the teams, but at least this is recorded so we can easily just speed up back into the match. What are your thoughts right now, Ryan Cleaner, of like what's we've seen so far?
It's a little bit crazy that the Donzaburo doesn't die there. Actually, being sucked under tower and then being rooted by the Sylvanas, making it out with just a sliver of HP. He didn't take a second tower shot, and I thought he was far enough under that he would have. I think there's a pretty obvious lead in this dual lane with the Revenants both being level 3 and the Foremen both being level 2. This is pretty obviously coming from the double kill over in the green buff invade. As we see coming over that some solo lane pressure is actually going to be inflicted by this Foreman squad to try and make up for that dual pressure.
And speaking of the pressure, Gambit falls as well here. Blue buff invade was successful, but I think the Chuck is going to die. Walks into the Janus damage here. Chuck trying to get away, but it just teleports into the Janus. Janus ultimate misses, but does get just the auto to confirm it. And Upwash in the mid lane cannot do anything as Kronos hits level 5. So much farm here for the Wailing Banshees. As troll as these picks were, the Banshees are just succeeding so much better right now than the Foremen.
That is an exact replica of what happened on the other side of the map, where you successfully get the buff and then lose 2. And now we're seeing a detriment in both of the side lanes. We see 1 level up for the Giannis. Surprisingly, the Foremen have actually caught up on this dual lane side, actually having control over this gold buff. Hopefully they secure it. Now look, dumb. Oh, there it goes.
Shield buff goes to the Revenants. Still fighting here, basically this double ADC comp onto, but Zhang Kui is forced to beat. The sustain is not enough. Danza trying to peel, trying to slow, but Chuck does rotate here. The shell is expended. Nice ton beats on the Scotty here, and Kaizo gets the pig onto Drew. Loki, Old Sin, gets the stun into the backline. Zhang dies to the tick damage of Loki's 2. Danzaburo gets rooted, but he's now in danger as his Loki is just shredding him at this moment. You're turning your back on him, buddy. Here, nice taunt to peel himself out. Chuck trying to do his bit, but Danzaburo, nice blink, nice jukes from Danzaburo, but Kaiser still falls for Ryu, and Ryu gets a nice double kill there. Chuck is not gonna give up. He's gonna fight, but the rotation from Kronos and Scotty are back. No, Chuck, you're in trouble, buddy. Nice stun, nice cripple, and then it is over for Burger Boy, and Cow Killer gets the pick there.
Initially, it looked like a really good fight actually for this Foreman squad until we saw the rotation of the Loki. The ultimate kills 1. I actually thought it was a really good blink from this Chalk to try and close the gap and make room for this Danzaburo to get him out, but then he ends up falling too. It's a good turnaround from the Revenants, but it shouldn't have been in that spot in the first place. I don't see any wards from their squad in the low area either of this map underneath that gold buff, which is probably a big reason why the situation looked as bad as it did. But good on them for being able to turn it around and actually keep this lead that they've gotten for themselves, growing up to almost 2K.
And at this moment, the goal difference, like you mentioned, is heavily, but combat mechanics are very powerful. They can easily catch up this insufferable wall and climb up, but with his team comp, it could be pretty dangerous. Sylvanas is just on fire here, but then Saburo comes in with his rocket, gets us on Upwash with the rotation. Nice stun, taunt onto the Scotty, and Scotty is 1 HP. Helenu gets the pick on the Scotty, and now Sylvanas is just in danger, but Loki in the back, ready to be invisible, and catch it. Danzaburo does not get the auto, and he falls, but the tick damage from Helenu is enough here. Danzaburo has to dodge away, trying to bait, and he gets away into the tower line there, but unfortunately they know you're there, buddy, and he's trying to walk into tower before the die off the tower, and then Chaos Tower gets the kill on Kaizo, and no gold for the Banshees.
Yeah, I think the Sylvanas there actually died because he healed with the Opwash 3 on him. And while this is all going on, it's actually pretty important to note that the Giannis did strip over the blue buff and the back camps from the Chalk while he was over in the left side of the map. We see this Anubis looking for a rotation, chasing out the Giannis. Giannis just gets away. But after that fight, I mean, it looks like that a little bit of the gold was caught up, bringing the lead down about 200 from what it initially was. But nothing really changed map-wise for what's going on in the state of this game right now.
And I agree with you completely. At this moment, the Foremen are trying their best just to climb up with this challenge that this, I'll be honest, this troll comp they impose on themselves. Danzaburo is annoying as a ADC. And speaking of being annoying, Chuck is just camping Drew's food this entire time, trying to punish him. But Loki is doing the same thing over here. Chuck with the amazing peel. Danzaburo, Giannis ultimate. Giannis has rotated from solo into the mid lane. So Vaughn is here. Loki ultimate gets a stun onto the Chuck. Specify does fall. Helenu is using the ultimate to try to peel off for his team, but it's not enough. Giannis and every single team member of the Banshees are on this outpush, and Helenu falls here with a double kill onto Ryu. This could be an easy goal Fury if they decide to do it.
Yeah, these rotations are huge by the Revenants, being able to actually control the lead that they have. It is unfortunate that we do not see that Gold Fury being pulled right now, but having this ability to just steamroll and deathball the way that they are, I mean, all they lost on the right side of the map was a wave and a blue buff, and they picked up 3 kills because of it. And having that turnaround, bringing the gold lead up even more, probably another 600 from what it was. I mean, it's crazy the way that they're able to just push this dual lane lead.
Oh, I completely agree with you in over there. I'm curious to see how it's gonna go for the blue team here. What can they do to try even get close to the pressure that Ryu is just bringing at this moment? He's 5-5 at the moment, just being showing face everywhere on the map as Helenu falls to the combination of the Sylvanas and Loki damage. Danzaburo in mid and Chakaswu can just look at the red team just doing damage. The Giannis snipe across the map clips the Danzaburo, and Giannis is proxying on the other side of the map here as Anubis is just gonna do the same thing. He's just gonna be farming, so what's the point in being in lane? We can just proxy down the wave. Chalk might be rotating towards his Giannis after completing the speedrun, so this could be dangerous here for being Subab. But over in dual side here is going to be seeing a Danzaburo rotation onto the Scotty, but it's just not the Danzaburo rotation, it's the Foreman rotation of every single team member at this moment. Scotty survives with just 1 HP. Danzaburo gets ulted by everyone and dies, then gets the Jean Kui stunned by the Loki, and Jean Kui doing the best to try to get the shutdown, but Loki is so far ahead that he just survives all the damage. 7-0-6, and he's not even done building his Transcendence.
Yeah, the Jean Kui is going like an auto attack build in this duo lane, which is probably the reason that Scotty didn't die to his ultimate there. I mean, Danzaburo ult and the Jean Kui ult both used, nothing came from it. I mean, a solo kill from the Chronos in mid lane. The Sylvanas is just getting ran down, which is the first time that the Foremen are actually going to be able to get something going in their favor this entire game, pretty much. That Sylvanas not worth all too much though because of him just being the support. Chronos almost going down, and the Foremen are falling. They're
Loki.
falling.
Loki gets shut down by Gambit. Gambit is just gets a perfect rotation to help the team, and try to just get anything rolling around. This Gambit has just been farming this entire time, but now at least when he rotates, he gets a nice double kill. Giannis has just been farming his brains out at the moment. Tower is down for the blue side in solo lane, and Specify just can't do anything. Chalk trying to go on to Drew. There is no wards, but Chalk is such an obvious character as their ganking. He's not tanky enough yet. He can't just dive tower at this moment. While Loki 7-1-8 Trans Jodens, and now going probably for either a beat stick or a crusher as a third item. this Loki is gonna be doing more and more damage, and I don't think the Foremen are gonna be able to transition to the late game.
Yeah, a lot of these fights, though, have been for the sake of fighting. Not a lot of objectives that actually come from this. So the Revenants only have a 3k lead, which is a lot for this time, but it doesn't represent the score line of the 6 to 18 that we see up top. So I'm curious to see what happens once we actually start seeing these fights happen over objectives like this Gold Fury, FG, Beacon that's coming up. I think we've seen last game that both of these teams really, really like to fight over this objective and die for it. So I'm curious to see what happens.
And speaking of dying for an objective, the Beacon is always a place to die. Posh gets killed by Ryu. Ultimate by the Chuck, trying to do enough damage here, but Loki gets stunned because of the Posh passive. And then here, Anubis rotation ultimate to get this shutdown to get a kill on the Soul Reaper. Scotty ults in to place Anubis taking a lot of damage, but Zhangqi is here on the rotation with the Chuck here. The ice just is disrupting the entire movement. Zhangqi is just figure skating in the moment and can't even get close to them. He is running it down towards Kronos. Kronos does not have his ultimate here. Nice slow here for Zhangqi. Kronos forced to beat the slow, going for the stun and the suck. Then here, the shutdown from Specify to from Cow Killer. Right now, it's going all lights out for the Banshees, and this could be Gold Fury here for the Foreman.
The Foreman might actually be able to catch up in this game, assuming that this Gold Fury actually goes to them, but it looks like that the fight is actually pretty strongly in the Revenant's favor around this objective.
Ryu gets a nice double, gets a triple, and I think he's going for the penta here. Loki running it down here, gets a quadra. It's only Danza left. Danza with Obo. Loki doing his best here. Loki is getting the pentakill. I think the first pentakill for in the Abyss division here by Ryu in the Loki.
Yeah, that objective pull was not warranted. They knew that they had the lead going into that fight. They knew that they had just killed the Kronos. But as soon as you see that rotation's starting to come through, and the lack of wards that are surrounding this top side of this Gold Fury from the Foreman, they just didn't know that rotation was coming through, and they get punished because of it. That Loki comes in, gets a pentakill, but it wasn't just the Loki that was there, though. I mean, you had the Loki there, you had the Sylvanas, you had the Giannis all coming in from across the map. There was just a lot of these rotations coming through and damage from a bunch of different sources, and the lack of wards and kind of just the lack of pressure too going into that objective just falters, and they get absolutely wiped at the objective. I'm surprised it doesn't get pulled for the Revenants, but I'm not expecting good smite to be coming of this game. We see the Giannis being sent to the left, but yeah, just as I had expected, the Foremen do go in and they try to pull another objective. They're playing the more objective-based game, trying to close with this lead a little bit, and it goes down to about 5,000, which is still massive for being 15 minutes in, but it's a little bit better than it was 30 seconds ago.
I agree with you in all the aspects here. Giannis behind 3 people. He's been proxying the whole game. Gets rotated on this, and Noob is doing so much damage. In mid lane, however, Danzaburo is just falling onto 3 of them. Calculator, another pick here. Zhangqi trying to get into Scotty, but that ice is the most annoying thing ever. Zhangqi gets really in place. The damage from the dog is so much where Zhangqi can just sustain at the moment, but Scotty does have the beat stick, so John cannot heal. But Loki coming in from behind is going to execute this Zhang Kui, and his stun is off the mark. Ice falls in, but Ryu does get the kill. 14, 2, and 10 for this Loki here. But the fight's not over. Chalk is still running around, but Kronos has to ult away before he dies. But Sylvanas is here. Sylvanas is available, but stun. Root is pull his gun here. Sylvanas keeps stunning himself with that, but Danzaburo over there gonna fall down to this Loki again. Possibly making a 15 kills for Loki at this moment, and it is 15 and 2 for Loki. Burger Boy does get juice food, and he's laughing on him, getting the greedy on them at this moment.
Yeah, so with all the fighting around the map that ended up happening, it was a 3-for-2 trade in favor of the Revenants. And it looks like it's actually going to be a 3-for-3 if the Sylvanas goes down here, but it doesn't look like he's... Oh, no, he's going down. But the Outwash rotating in, securing the kill. Kronos actually sniping somebody with that 3. Looks like sniping out Burger Boy. This is just chaos going in. On the left side of
Loki
this map.
in this, onto this Anubis, and the tick damage gets Gambit, and now Helenu gets a shot down on the 16-2 Loki. That has to be so much gold that a push just got.
Yeah, that was an 8-kill shutdown that you just got right there. Yeah, that tick that you see up in the gold from about 30 seconds ago is that single kill. Nothing else contributed to that pull right there. 900 gold at least. going in favor of this outwash.
But all in favor right now, the Giannis is just power farming to get to level 20 at this moment. He is almost max cooldown. He is just trying to find farm anywhere but Giannis, buddy. You're just taking every single thing on this game. Take it easy on them. Don't be cruel. Giannis is just running around, being the most annoying character that he could be. Blinks away onto this Chuck ultimate, and he is just styling on them right now. This Doom Orb is just offering so much mobility to this Giannis. Giannis is just ulting the buffs, the oracles misses just to be annoying, but that's just enough movement for the team to catch up if they want to. Over here, Danzaburo and Anubis are going for the Fire Giant, but no one in the Banshees have any wards. They don't know that they're actually committing to this Fire Giant here. Anubis does have the Boomba stagger and a full lifesteal kit, so he can easily do his war flag is online. But Giannis has shown face. Giannis knows it's happening. He doesn't have ultimate, but he just does enough damage. As here, the Foremen get the Fire Giant, as the Banshees get the Gold Fury here. This could be the one opening that the Foreman can get.
Yeah, they're only 4k gold down right now, actually. We do see that Bean Soup Bob crossing over to level 20, hopefully getting the starter upgrade online. But this also gives an opportunity for these forming groups to start crossing those lines as well, as we see Ryu pick the Opwash, slowing down the siege a little bit, not giving them too many opportunities in this game. But,
and Ryu just outplayed there, Burger Boy. Blink onto the Sky Sylvanas. Sylvanas misses, but gets a pull, gets the root there. Anubis has rotated, doing so much damage at the moment, but the Sylvanas is so tanky and he's hitting for so much. The Giannis ultimate goes through and clips on the map. Nice pull here. Scuddy ultimate being used, and the Foremen are running it down, trying to get some, but Sylvanas is so tanky at this moment with Contagion, with Genji's. He's just running around the rocket going into place. Starting to Scotty at the moment. Chuck is rushing down Giannis. But Giannis can just easily get away this moment. Loki TP blinks over. Gambit does get to Scotty here. But then now it's dangerous because Loki is back full HP and going for this target. First Iron on the Jean Kui here. Anubis gets ulted. A triple kill by Cow Killer here. Now it could just run down. Cow Killer looking for his own penta at the moment. Trying to get a quadra here, but Kronos cannot land autos at the moment, and Alpers is hitting so much here, and Helenu shuts down Cow Killer, and then Soul Reapers with the Sylvanas passive just kills them at this moment.
That was a crazy engagement. It's insane to see how much that FG buff actually does for this squad of the Foremen. As we see the blink being used there by the Dons Pro, just missing the Sylvanas backing, but the fact that they were actually able to take a somewhat even looking fight there despite being so far down just shows how much this buff is actually worth in this game. The fact that they snuck it away, the Revenants having no wards on this map. There's 2 wards on this map and both of them are in purple buff pit. It's insane how much these wards actually help you, how much vision actually supports you in your game. The Foremen able to seal away that FG, get a good fight out of it. They're now 5k down, but again, this is coming from... They're still 5k down, and that's what matters, is that this lead isn't getting too out of hand. They're sticking it out, they're staying at a fightable pace in this game, and they're able to actually compete with this Revenant squad right now, despite being so far down in kills.
And that's just raw mechanics from each of these players. And right now, we see a possible siege in mid lane. Sylvanas is forced to back after taking so much poke. Here, a fight, but Ryu gets unspecified. Helenu does clean up on Bean Subab, 1-for-1 at the moment. Blink onto Chuck, trying to get this Loki, as then Gambit confirms the pick there. But then Scotty is also the target here for the Foreman, and do get the pick onto Drew's food, while Kronos is just split pushing across the map with a giant wave here. He does not have. He does have Polly, but does not have. Here, blinks into this Lewis, playing him, and then gets a solo kill onto Gambit, and it's just a free bird if he wants to. As the Foremen are walking down mid, trying to get something at this moment. They do still have an ADC. It's the support, but still an ADC to hit on this tower. Posh, Chalk trying to do their best. Kronos trying to get the bird in left. Jean is spun. Kronos is playing the corner as he gets a stun onto him. Beats on Jean. So much damage right now. The Poly is just destroying, and Cow Killer just did it twice onto them. Is he gonna do it a third time? Is he gonna style on them? Get a delayed triple kill. Now it's become a 2v1. Giannis is going probably to catch the beacon. A Giannis portal coming in hot for rotation, but it's just for the damage at this point, not even for the movement point. Kronos doing his best, hitting Chuck with everything. Chuck is so tanky this moment. He is full tank Chuck. He's gonna be hard to kill.
Yeah, but this Kronos is so fast though that it just doesn't matter. You can't keep up the chase. I was gonna make fun of Cow Killer for split pushing in a game like this, but then he absolutely styles on two people, and I can no longer make fun of him. That was cool. But we do see that while this is all going on, that the Foremen were actually pushing into the mid Phoenix, chasing kills and dropping them. The Foremen were actually turned on there. I do believe that at least one of them died, and this T2 tower in mid still stands. We can see the state of this game right now by the amount of towers that are still up. 2 T2s are up on the side of the Foremen as Drew just makes a mistake trying to take down that one, and looks like this Anubis is getting rotated on.
No, it's Anubis. Even though he gunned down Drew here, Loki is just slashing and backstabbing on this Anubis. The tick damage is not enough, and Anubis can just walk away like it's nothing. This Bluestone Bruce is doing so much. The snipe unfortunately misses by 1 millisecond, by 1 inch or millimeter. Nice knockup to step the Danzaburo away from his Invis. And now this could be this could just be a fire giant call. John is trying to survive. There's so much damage from Chuck and Wash at the moment. He's just booking a Cow Killer, gets the kill onto the Anubis that he was basically on his own blue buff. Zhang trying to do something, but Kronos is still here. Kronos is 14, 3, and 10, the second powerhouse at the moment. Zhang going for the Loki, but pops ultimate, but it's not enough here. Kronos knows that this Zhang cannot live, and he's chasing him down. Polyautos are hitting so hard at the moment. There, the red team gets the fire giant. Calculator gets another pick here, and now this is chasing down blue team here. Fight after fight after fight. Nice pull onto a push. Nice ultimate from Sabanis here, and now it's only Chuck left. Kronos ults. Loki gets the ult stun locked in onto the Chuck, and Chuck is surviving for dear life itself. But no, another kill for Ryu. 19, 4, and 16. Loki is running this show.
Yeah, that's an absolutely huge turn for the Revenants there. The Foremen were holding on by a grasp in this game, trying to clutch onto anything that they could get, and the Revenants just strip it out of their hands. Another thing that happened too, I just wanted to mention, it's completely irrelevant, but the Giannis ulted in right lane and actually had a glitched portal and almost got picked out underneath the right Phoenix, because he went all the way from the start of the T2 tower to under Phoenix with a single portal. So that could have been really bad for the Revenants, but luckily that doesn't happen. They end up getting the entry, they get it on all 5, they keep it on all 5, and they get 2 picks.
And speaking of getting picked, Gambit unloads his entire machine turrets onto the backline, but it's not enough. Kronos and Scotty, great use of Ibis and Aegis, stun on Zhang Kui. Zhang Kui gets one-shotted here, and it's Danzaburo against the world. Danza, you are gone, buddy. Triple kill for Drew's Ford. The Titan is still walking down in right lane, has been pushed back, but with 3 members down and basically 2 ADCs, this is just possibly game. Chalk is still around. He can be the difference maker. He has the damage. He has the build. He just needs to get in there is slowing them down. This ultimate Kronos ults away. Scotty trying to do his builds, but Chuck is just quarter chunked. Ice, stunned, and that's unfortunate there. The push ultimate to zone out both everyone, forcing them out. But Sylvanas and Giannis are just taking his tower for free. They're already both level 20. They're already both almost max build, and it's just free and easy for them. Pwash is a target. Loki, movement speed, Abyss, backstab. Nice dual time Aegis, but not enough. The tower, the bird just chunks the Loki, and then the Gambit just melts him down as Jean-Qui takes the last hit there. Giannis being annoying over there in right lane. This could be a good thing for the Foremen if they can lock down someone down.
Yeah, kicking that Kronos out of the pit and not letting him in on the siege is actually such a huge component of this, like, Foreman's defense, because that Kronos with his polyautos are doing so much damage, especially activating the 2 in the power stance. It is necessary to get him out of the Phoenix line.
Giannis portals in, trying to accomplish something, but this moment is not enough. Here, Fire Giant is still up for at least 30 seconds around, so it could be pretty dangerous for the Foreman if they allow as Gambit falls again. Unfortunately, 8, 9, and 7, he's just the carry of the team. And every time he falls, it's dangerous. Danzaburo is getting chased down by Kronos. Kronos autos. Kronos 17, 3, and 16. Someone get this man a chair. His back must be hurting after doing all that carrying in this moment.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what damage numbers look like, because this Kronos is absolutely slapping right now. He hits so, yeah, 50,000
49k in a 28-minute game. This man is not giving up. As you see, Kronos in right lane, chasing down Chuck here. Chuck, buddy, you're not fast enough. Kronos beats with the House Magic's cloak and then easily just destroys Burger Boy like it's nothing. Fire is gonna fall off from the Banshees this moment. However, they can still chase his Jean-Qui like nothing's going on. Stun, beats, used, Bluestone Bruce going in hard, and then eliminates Specify, having a horrible game. Well, the Foreman in general, 2, 13, and 4, compared to Juice Food, 6, 6, and 16.
Yeah, I think going this auto attack build on Chong, it is important that you actually use the auto attacks, and it seems that when you're constantly running away, you don't actually get the opportunity to do that. And we see this good shutdown though on this Loki, absolutely like necessary to happen. All that's left is Kronos. Just need to get rid of him in these fights, and you might actually have something going your way for the Foreman.
But really, like, you take what? You kill the Kronos, then this Loki. At least Loki's down for 40 seconds, so this could be the go button for the Foreman to try and just salvage something. Portal hits, clips. The double kill for Cow Killer. Just the polyautos are just doing so much damage. And Kronos is going for this Titan with double ADC. At the moment, it is being leashed and reset here. Zhang is back from the dead. It's a 4v2 over here. The Banshee's trying to do something. Zhang, it gets decimated, obliterated. I'm running out of words describing destruction at this moment, because Kronos is just running it down now at 21, 3, and 17. About to be 22 if he gets the pick here, and it goes 22 with a double kill and a deicide. And the Banshees take game 2 and winning the set 2-0.
Ending that game, 22 kills in your jungle, 22 kills in your mid. That's never gonna feel bad. I mean, this game is actually absolutely dragged through those two characters. The ending damage, Kronos had double at least anybody on the Foreman's. Yeah, anybody on the Foreman. 58,000 damage at the end of the game is absolutely insane. These polyautos were hitting so hard. Kronos had to at least have had 1,000 power with the 2 active, and we just see them translate this lead coming from the jungle and the mid into a victory and a 2-0 for the Revenants.
So much fun watching this game. Like, we could sit down here and analyze this game, but we all know that it was just a fun event for both teams. They just were just non-stop fighting, player damage all well up in the 20k. Giannis, the only one that didn't reach the 20k because he was just running around. The lack of wards everywhere. 28 wards from Kronos. This man must have had a ward chalice or something that pops wards, because there's no way he had so many wards in such a fun game. But that does not matter. This has been Brokazoid on the cast with Rim Cleaner and Buckwheat on the camera. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time, QSL, for next week.